Welcome to another episode of the Fomoball podcast. We're on to game week 35 of the Premier League. This actually mixed feelings about this game week because certain results have gone as expected. Certain results were like quite shocking, but we'll probably talk about the key fixtures that have impacted us. Vibhas is here. Unfortunate for him. What started as a quadruple probably a couple of months back is just going off the rails. We'll first start with the West Ham Liverpool fixture, but apart from that, the other games that actually I didn't expect it to turn out this way was, of course, Newcastle Sheffield United. I know every team has been bossing Sheffield United, but Newcastle lost to Crystal Palace 2-0. They've bounced back really well. On the other hand, United ended up like drawing with Burnley, something that even we did. So I mean, no surprises there. Vincent Company, at least against the big teams, that he's able to like take points off them. So that's great for them. Everton, I just don't know. I mean, they conceded six to us. They're like on a rampant journey to get back that goal difference, and they're keeping clean sheets after clean sheets. Like I think this is the third consecutive clean sheet after the 6-0. I think they've already got the six goals back. So I mean, amazing from Everton, and they're probably going to stay up. So Dash for the win. The game that probably I felt Chelsea deserved to win. A lot of people felt, especially after the second half performance, we somehow didn't, but it's fine. And finally, the two games that matters, title contenders. I mean, Liverpool too were, but not anymore. Arsenal, they've got the bragging rights in the Northern London derby. I was rooting for Spurs. I sent a message to a friend of mine in the beginning of the game. I mean, nothing. They're just beating London clubs now for goal difference. That's about it. And Man City, it was a routine win for them. It was expected from unlike goal scorers, not the usual ones. But I think Guardiola is in a rich form of vein. He's been scoring in the Champions League as well this year, and the robot has finally arrived after a while. So that's probably the build up to this game. We'll first start with the West Ham Liverpool game. So I saw this game for a bit, and then I had to leave. When I was watching this game, I saw up till like halftime. West Ham ended up scoring 1-0. And I remember sending this to Abbas, and he I don't think he nor any other Liverpool fans were actually watching this. They just found out because like we like sent it on the group. So wait, what was your first reactions when you like saw West Ham was leading?
So, yeah, the thing is, I did go back and watch later the match again, right? So, but I didn't know. I was not, as I said, I was not watching at that time, and that's not because I don't like watching Liverpool anymore. But it's just that, yeah, I mean, we have lost out on titles before too, right? And we have lost twice by 1 point before. But we have never capitulated like this under Klopp. Okay. Because as I said, just over a month ago, around 5, 6 weeks ago, before the defeat to United in the FA Cup quarterfinal, there was that so-called quadruple charge. And the rhetoric apart, we were on top of the table, we were in the FA Cup quarterfinals, we had won the Carabao Cup, and we were in a good position in the Europa League too. And in 5 weeks, all of them have unraveled, and it's okay. That happens. Okay, but what has disappointed me most about Liverpool is how it has unraveled. Okay, there's losing, and then there's this losing like you have given up, and that's what it's been looking like. Liverpool have been playing like I completely given up or something, which should not be the case. You're in a title race. You drop points. You should have more motivation to come back. But I have not seen that motivation come back. So yeah, as I said, came to know, West Ham scored through you guys, right? Because it came in the group or something, and I'm like, here we go again. Okay, 2 months ago, I would have heard Liverpool conceded first. I'm like, come back, we're coming back. It's usual. Second half monsters, whatever. I didn't expect us to come back this time. So I switched on the match in the second half. Okay, and Robertson equalized there. And I think 1-1, we can do it. We went up 2-1, but the usual defensive frailty we have had for the last month or so, and it's 2-1 again. And after it was 2-1, there was no sign of us trying to even come back, make a comeback, score a goal or something, right? We made subs at the 80th minute, the famous sub where Mo Salah came on and had a spat with Jurgen Klopp. And although that's been blown out of proportion a bit, I mean, yeah, it was not a good look, especially considering how the team is doing. But for all, I mean, everything should be treated as a normal thing about Salah is, Salah has that mentality that he should be starting every game. And when he does not, he does get a little bit pissed, which is understandable. But it is also understandable why he was dropped. because we've seen Salah's run of form in the recent game. It's not been good. So he was dropped. He was not rested. He was dropped. That's the thing. Okay. And Salah obviously did not take that well. And that's fine. Okay. Because after the match, it was all, as Klopp came and said that they had talked. It's fine. These things happen in football. But people blew it out of proportion because the team's form is down, Salah's form is down, and it's not a good look. I agree. It does not look good that your star player is shouting at manager, especially when he's not playing at his best. So overall, it's a typical Liverpool game for the what's happening for the last 1 month. Okay, we played like how we played in the last 1 month. We'll have some flashes of brilliance. We'll have those chances which we'll forget how to score, and then obviously we'll concede out of nowhere, concede some through some really shitty defensive work. Okay, so yeah, that's been a story for the last 1 month. I mean, we were playing better than the. I mean, my first thought on seeing the match was that we're playing better than the Everton game, but it's nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near good enough. Okay, and again, if can you share the screen again once?
Yeah,
The
sure.
match times.
So the thing is, from what I observed, especially in the first half, was that it was basically Liverpool having the ball completely. West Ham were just happy to sit back.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
remember
So
like shot after shot, West Ham didn't bother. Like they were trying to win the ball, but they were happy to sit in their defensive shape. In fact, the commentator said,
yeah,
like I think it was the 15th to 16th minute, Antonio hadn't even touched the ball. He ended up, of course, scoring in the second half, but
yeah.
he didn't
Again,
get a
I mean, look
whiff
at the
of the ball.
possession. Look
Yeah.
at the possession again. Seven. We had this talk in the Everton game also. What's the use of
Yes.
all this possession when it's leading to nothing? Okay,
Yeah.
and it's that's how we've been playing for the last 4 or 5 weeks, right? That we'll get into good chances, we'll get into good chances, make some good runs, and then someone will decide that they have forgotten how to finish. Okay, this game there were not as many clear-cut big chances missed as we have had in probably the Everton game or the ones before, but it was still not good. The finishing was. I mean, look at the people. Look at the two goals. It was a defender and an own goal.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's a defender and an own goal. Okay,
So
from the
the thing
keeper.
is, I can
From the
get
keeper.
glimpse. Yeah, that's how it was. I can get glimpses of the last year's Chelsea, which was one of the worst Chelseas, of course. But I can get the glimpse based on just these stats. We have the ball, we end up not scoring. The opponent doesn't mind getting like fighting for the ball, they just end up scoring goals, they end up winning. This was something that I
Yeah,
used to crib on the group. I used to see this like this much of possession we used to have, like 70,
exactly. And
60%. No end product.
that's the issue, right? I mean, no one wants
Yeah.
Chelsea last season. You were really shit throughout the season. Okay,
Exactly.
this this happened to Liverpool is more surprising because till 6 weeks ago, I was not saying we were perfect. Okay, we were never
Yeah.
convincing through the season. I'm be honest. Okay, but we were scraping through wins, and again, I think the biggest thing in a title race is to scrape through the wins. Okay, it's those difficult fixtures where you scrape through the wins that define the title race.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, the one we actually won back in 1920 was the one, probably the one where we did not play as good as the preceding season, in which we got 98 points. But it was about scraping the wins, and that's what we did. So we had been scraping the wins. We were doing decent. So, but this fall off has just come out of nowhere. Okay? That's a surprising thing.
Okay.
We were playing decent and suddenly we were playing shit. And people are there are sort of theories saying that Klopp announcing his leaving probably put too much pressure on the players. Bullshit. After Klopp announced he was leaving, out of the next 12 matches, we won 10 of them. We drew one to City, and we lost one to Arsenal. 10 out of 12 we won, one draw and one loss. So it was fine after Klopp announced. After the United FA Cup final defeat, okay, we played 9 games and we have won 4 of them, lost 5 of them. Sorry, 10 games, won 4, lost 5, and drew 1. So clearly, if people have to point to something that capsulated a season, it's the United FA Cup game. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they lost the mentality. Maybe they just gave up after that. But since then, we have lost 5 matches, and we had lost only 2 matches throughout the season to them. So,
Yeah. I mean, the fall off is something that nobody actually predicted, including like us. Like when we knew there was a title race between City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, we were sure, of course, like everyone says, like City is gonna win. Maybe like we might see another winner this year.
I think
But
we
if
all
City,
thought that
yeah.
Arsenal might be the ones to
No,
fall off.
that's what like
I
we
think
thought Arsenal could. Like right now, of course, the belief has increased more. But we were like, if City wins first, it'll be Liverpool coming second. We never placed Liverpool third. It was
yeah,
always
yeah.
like Liverpool one or two. Yeah. So that is very surprising to see that Liverpool is like in a three horse race is like finally like there's a possibility that we're just gonna finish third now. There's
They're doing
definitely they're not gonna slip to fourth for sure. But like I don't think they
no,
can catch up
yeah,
to
yeah.
City. Yeah.
To slip to fourth. I mean, okay, to slip to fourth, Tottenham need to score some. Sorry, Villa need to score
Yeah,
insane
we'll
amounts
not
of
need to play
goals.
really well, but
So
yeah.
yeah, they need to rack up goal difference. Okay,
Yeah.
so and theoretically, okay, on theoretically, we need just 1 point to come third.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful we get 1 point in 3 matches. Come on.
I
So
mean, we've
yeah,
taken 2 points of Villa, so kind of like a small favor to you. No, I mean, but there's just 3 games left, and yeah, most
the seven
probably,
point gap.
yeah,
The
7 point gap.
maximum, the maximum Villa can get is 76. Exactly 1 point. So yeah, as I said,
Yeah, so
one
you
point.
just
We need
need to
1 point to
draw
get
a
third.
game. That's enough for you to like secure third. But I
Yeah,
mean, of course, Liverpool is not going to be happy with third. Klopp is not going to be happy with third. Nor are your fans because you've had like big expectations. There's one talking point though you said briefly, but like probably you can clarify, especially for the people who don't know. What actually happened between Salah and Klopp in the touchline? Like a lot of people have been talking about a lot of things, but what do you think actually happened?
between Salah and Klopp.
Yes, like I remember a couple of words
See,
being
okay,
exchanged, and then yeah,
no one knows. See, no one
exactly,
knows what exactly happened. Obviously, right? And I am of the thing that we should not know. Okay, these things
exactly.
should stay within. Okay, obviously, but see, what is clearly is Klopp said something to Salah. Salah apparently didn't like what was said by Klopp, and he lashed out.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay,
that's simple as
so
it is. Yeah.
we can do a lot of permutation combination. What was Salah saying? What was Klopp saying? But it's clear what happened was simple. Uh, Klopp said something to Salah. Salah might not have liked it. Normally, he might not have reacted like that, but Salah has that thing about that I want to start every match. He was pissed. He was not starting, and he probably ended up lashing out. And I'm not saying it's ideal, but it happens. Okay, it would have been bad if this would have continued. Okay, yeah, coming about that. So after the match, Klopp came out and said that we talked it out in the dressing room, and Salah was interviewed before the press. This is Klopp said this in the press conference that we talked about in the dressing room. It's all fine. Salah was interviewed just when he was going down the tunnel, right, which is obviously before the press conference.
Oh yes, yeah.
And his famous quote, so to say, was that if I talk about it, there'll be fire. Okay, it has been misconstructed to some other level. What he probably meant, which is probably what, knowing the media, it's right, that if anything he would have said would have been taken out of context.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just he could have worded it better. He could have avoided the use of fire or anything, or just said no comments something. But it's not his first language, man. Come on. He just wanted to say that the press will make a controversy of whatever he says regardless, so he won't say anything. Right. And again, as I said, not an ideal look, though the player should not be shouting at the manager in public. Okay, obviously, I agree. But it happens sometimes and it's fine. Okay. This does not mean that Salah disrespects Klopp or Klopp does not like Salah. We'll sell Salah because Salah did this. Bullshit. Okay. We might sell Salah, but the reason won't be this. The reason won't be that he lashed out at Klopp. That's the most idiotic reason I've ever heard. Okay. And it also does not mean that Salah has become bigger in the team. That's also because shit
Yeah.
happens.
So
Okay.
the thing is, there's something that I need to say. Klopp has handled the situation really well. A lot of people have been saying, like, had this been this manager, like for example, had this been Jose or had this been someone else, I want to take names.
Bro,
The player would have
no,
been booted out of the club.
I'll
He had
take
to go
I
train with academy
I'll take
members.
names. I'll take names if this had happened to Jose Mourinho. He would have come out in a press conference and said, "Told player to fuck off." Okay,
Yes.
so if it had happened to
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag, yeah, if it had happened to Eric Ten Hag, the person would be training with the reserves and then sent to Dortmund or something.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So the thing is, like,
no,
I mean,
it
compared to other
also
coaches, yeah,
depends. It also depends on who the player is, man. Okay.
yeah,
There's a difference between Sancho and Salah, of course. Okay.
yeah.
So
That's there, but
there'll
like,
obviously be more leeway. To an extent, there'll be more leeway given to Salah. To an extent, I'm not saying he can do anything he wants, obviously. So,
no, but all I'm saying is that, of course, the relationship between the manager and the player in this case, compared to probably the other cases that we're discussing, is completely different. But still, like the way in which I think Klopp has handled it is very commendable. So it's
yeah,
always
I
known
think
like Klopp as
why
how
it
he takes care of his
became
players. It's just yeah,
why it became such a big issue was you don't expect this from Salah. That's why it became a big issue, right? You don't
Yeah.
expect Salah to be lashing out. That's the reason it became a big issue. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it happens.
Yeah.
And I understand frustrations from both sides. It's been disappointing for the whole team. So it's fine.
Yeah. But anyways, like Liverpool expect Salah to stay next season. Klopp, on the other hand, might not, unlike Xavi. So
Klopp surely will not. Klopp is not
yeah.
Xavi. We to be fair, already have a next manager. I mean, Fab was reporting that it's all done, official confirmation by the end of the week. So
Yeah.
Arne Slot is in. So Klopp is certainly not staying. And I don't know what other Liverpool fans think, but I personally would want Salah to stay for a season. I mean, his
Yeah.
contract is there till the next season, so that's the bare minimum. And I think we had a report today coming from David Ornstein that we might look to renew his contract, and I would not mind that either. Uh, I mean, or if it's agreed with Salah about his playing time and everything. I think Salah still has a big role to play at Liverpool, but I don't think he can be that sure shot day in day out starter after this next season at least.
Yeah.
Okay, and at least not as a right winger. Probably move him to striker. He cannot be worse than Darwin Núñez. So keep Salah. And we
Okay.
have the trend of play wingers as they get older moving to strikers already. That's a very common trend. So it
Yeah.
won't be the first time it's happening anywhere.
Yeah, but anyways, like next season, I believe like the team is probably not going to have much of a change. I think unlike how Klopp inherited like Liverpool, Slot is going to inherit a much better
Yeah,
squad. So
I don't think the squad as such is a problem, right? We
yeah,
might add a defensive midfielder, but I don't expect any big player to be sold. I mean, there will be theories about how we might sell Nunes, we might sell Diaz. I don't see that happening. I think Slot will give all of these folks one season because none of them are bad players. Okay, I mean, despite all the slander I
exactly. Yeah.
might be doing for Nunes, he's not a bad player. I mean, he can improve a lot, but let's see how he does under a new coach and then decide.
Okay, fine. So moving away from
Let's
TLs
move
of
to
Liverpool.
Chelsea. Yeah.
By the way, I'm so happy Brighton got pummeled by Bournemouth. I'm also sad because we faced Bournemouth, but still, like, deserve you deserve this. Okay, and moving on. Okay, so this
Let's move to
game,
Chelsea.
I'll be very honest. Okay, I started watching this game with like a little bit of hope, and I'll tell you why. It's nothing to do with Premier League. It's because I think in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, I think we faced Villa. I'm not sure which competition. We played at Villa Park and we beat them, I think 3-1. So I was like, okay, so based on that evidence, we can do well. That's what I thought. And of course, we got clapped the previous week. So I was like, okay, show some fire. You got called like Chelsea Football Club, try to show without Cole Palmer. That didn't work out. You got Cole Palmer back. At least as Cole Palmer FC, try to do something, is what I expected. Fourth minute, we concede. We did the same shit the previous week. Like before 5 minutes, we conceded. And the worst part is, this wasn't even like what to say, counter attack or anything. It was just purely we had a defensive shape in plan. We just had a simple pass through ball. We had a cutback, and of course the goal. I mean, it was McGinn's shot is going away from the goalpost. Cucurella probably, I don't know what he was thinking. Even if he like wanted to kick it, he had to kick it hard so that it goes away from the post. All he did was just change the direction. That's why it's probably a Cucurella own goal rather than a McGinn's goal. And I think after that, I just lost hope. Like I was like, for sure, we will not be able to play well. But one positive that I saw, especially like of course we've been discussing even for the Liverpool game, is this started to improve. So this is at least something that I can. I mean, see, in the sense like if we have the ball, it'll be difficult for them to score. No? That approach I'm happy with. So we ended up taking the ball,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, like so I'll just finish this, then probably you give me your thoughts. We ended up
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
the
Sure.
ball.
Sure.
We then started like to take shot after shot. Villa were just happy to sit back. They had a couple of shots in the first half. Unfortunate for them, they couldn't nail one in. But in the, I think probably like you see, right before the halftime, under Chelsea's like complete barrage of shots, Villa got one. We went 2-0. I went to sleep after that because I thought we were not going to make a comeback. And I wake up in the morning, I see we've like scored 2 goals. So the second half, I saw the extended highlights. I'm happy with the way they performed, and especially reading like what pundits and what people have been speaking about the game. Second half was a much better performance. Pochettino spoke apparently. Thiago Silva gave an amazing team talk, it seems, and they started off very well in the second half. By the way, the Madueke goal could have also been a penalty. So actually, I think Gallagher was brought down in the D. I just by looking at it, I think could have been a penalty. I'm not sure, But anyways, Madueke converted it, so there's no claims for a penalty. Gallagher's goal reminded me of that goal which Ziyech scored versus Spurs, right? The left foot, top right corner. I'm sorry, top left corner. I think that was an amazing goal. He's stepping up every time Poch's job is on the line. Like I don't know what
Yeah, we've
if
all seen
saving
those
prior try.
memes. Yeah, we've all seen those memes.
That's why Saving Private Ryan was a movie that was made back in the day. We can legit do Saving Pochettino right now with Gallagher starring in the main role, man. Legit, he's been saving his job. But anyways, that was an amazing goal. Credit where credit's due. And of course, we'll get to the goal that was disallowed at the end. But overall, I believe like at least it was a very well organized performance in the second half, but very, very shaky first half. And like I don't know what is wrong with this Chelsea side. We enter the field in fear, and that's something that's been hitting us very hard. Even in the United game, that's what happened, especially the one in Old Trafford. We started off very, very shaky. I don't know what we do. We just go into the game. We think the opponent is much stronger than us, or what, and we end up conceding. And sometimes it is okay because if you concede one or two, you can make a comeback. But against Arsenal, as you saw, there's nothing we could do after we conceded the second goal. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So for people who didn't watch the game, they'll be like, at least to an extent, they'll be satisfied, Chelsea fans. The rest of them will be like, yeah, what is this shit we're watching?
What do you feel about that disallowed goal?
Okay, so the disallowed goal, like firstly, when I think I don't know, I think it was you who sent
Yeah, I
the
sent you
video on
that
the
video in
group.
the group. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
based on first look, I was like, yeah, that's probably definitely that's a foul, and the goal should not stand because he's not gone for the ball. He's just pushed the player in. And we've seen instances of this being given as fouls in previous, like in the Premier League as well. We've also seen when the ball is like ended up in the back of the net, we've seen goals being like disallowed, and we've given like what people have given instances like this is the foul. Like build during the build up play, we've seen this is a foul, which
Yeah.
is fine. But then like on the next day, when I think Arsenal played against Spurs, something similar to this happened, and that goal stood. So I think it was Kai Havertz's goal that stood.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure
I
exactly
think the
how
issue.
Premier League refs are.
I think the issue is not right or wrong. I think I've said in a particularly earlier episode too. The issue with refereeing in the Premier League is lack of consistency. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fine. If you want to say that the medical, sorry, who was the one who scored the disallowed goal? I don't
Which one?
remember. Okay, whoever who
Yeah.
scored the disallowed goal. It was mediocre, you know.
Oh, that was Disasi. It was of
Oh yeah. So
Ramsdale, and Disasi scored. Yeah.
okay, that's fine. So if you want to say that the Disasi goal was not a goal, fine, fair enough. Then that should be the standard all over for all matches. Okay. It should
Okay.
not be a thing that should not be a different for different matches, right? And that's been my issue with the Prem refereeing all over the season. I do not mind, for example, XYZ instance. For example, I take one instance, Curtis Jones getting a red early in the season.
Yeah.
But I have seen worse go unpunished after that. After that, okay. I've seen worse go unpunished after that. So my problem is they're not consistent.
See, all I can say
So
is
yeah, but
if the ball touches the
yeah,
hand, it should be a handball. Simple. There's no XYZ. Like every
yeah,
situation, if
yeah.
the ball touches the hand, it's a handball. Whether it was that Liverpool game where I think an Arsenal player touched, I think it was
No, I
Odegaard.
think
Like,
the handball
anything.
thing has they see the intent or something, right? So
Yeah, they
that's the
do
problem.
it, but
They do it, and I get the logic, but intent will always be subjective,
exactly.
right? Every ref will have a different way of seeing intent. That gets gray. That gets very gray.
See, I was a
For
fan
one
of all
ref,
this natural position. If your hand is in, then it should not be a handball and everything. That's fine. But then when I saw what Grealish did, and the hand is completely not in a natural position, they're still not awarding. See, that's the problem. Like you said, it's not at all consistent. Like some matches, you
yeah.
you see like
Again,
okay, you get a goal for it.
how consistent apart, it's not easy to define whether it was natural position or not. It might not
Yeah,
look like it might be. It might look it was natural, but it was not a natural position. It's
exactly.
very subjective, right? For one person, it might look like, it's natural position.
Exactly. Yeah,
Another
he
might
might
say he
have
has
jumped
done it
like this.
deliberately.
Correct.
Yeah, so it gets very murky.
It's a very gray area, the scope of debate, and of course, the decisions sometimes go your way, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't know. Maybe next season we will see. I don't think there's much changes to the as well.
I mean, offsides will be. I mean, they're getting the goal line technology for offsides.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's one.
that's probably one big change. Yes,
That's
definitely.
one good thing.
And I think La Liga is still not going to get goal line technology apparently.
They
So,
apparently don't have money. They apparently don't have money.
oh man,
It's
it's just
just
6 million, but they're like no. And I think
I
the president is pocketing some of it. But okay, anyways, it's their league, their
since
problem.
we
But
were Premier League also has not adopted goal line. La Liga has not adopted goal line.
yeah,
And there must be some reason apart from financial. And I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories if they want to rig matches. But there has to be some reason. God knows. So yeah.
okay. So, anyways, the thing about this game is that at least we were able to take 1 point, even though I would strongly believe we needed three. This brings us to like what we are left with 5 games. We play West Ham, we play like Bournemouth, we play Brighton. On paper, all are easy fixtures. But in reality, I don't think we'll be able to win all of them. We'll most probably draw them. My best guess is we could reach close
Do you
to.
think you can get Europa?
No, I my guess is we can get eight odd points, like 50, 56 points maybe. We'd still finish below Man United, probably below Newcastle
Optimistically,
as well.
or at the most optimistic, you're getting 10 points.
Yeah, maybe
Okay,
yes. If
so
5 games,
that
10
makes it
points. Yeah.
yeah, that makes it 58. And yeah, United will get more than
We'll get more
50
than
points.
that. So probably so my guess is I believe we'll finish just out of Europe. Maybe eighth could be a good position. But if like we do perform exceedingly well, we might get conference. But I don't think it'll be possible to get Europa, especially because like either Villa or Tottenham. Most likely it's like Villa will get
Yeah,
Champions League, Tottenham will get
you can
Europa.
get you can get eighth because there's only a 1 point gap and you have 2 games in hand compared to West Ham. So yeah, that's there. You can get
Yeah,
eighth.
that's that. And of course we play West Ham as well. So that's also there. So eighth is going to be definitely possible if we just like play our games
Seventh
like
might
this.
be possible too. Seventh will
Seven
get you
two,
conference.
yeah, seven as well. But again, that's a big if. So I'm just happy that we've not like made that many mistakes. Like if you see the recent run of form as well, before this game, right, we didn't lose 8 games, and of course, so basically out of 10 games, we've lost one. We've had a couple of wins and a couple of draws, but those draws are hurting us a lot. It wasn't supposed to be like with Sheffield, with Burnley, and all of that. But it's okay. It's fine. Like I take it. Like
See,
last season, we finished with 44 points. We're at least like going to cross
the
50 this time.
form
Yeah,
this form table shows who the contenders are. Look at Arsenal and City.
exactly.
And look at the
Uh,
rest. Okay. Look at Liverpool, for example. One victory in the last 5 matches. Okay.
yeah,
And Villa has gotten two, but they've gotten two draws. Draws
two
hurt,
draws as well.
honestly.
Yeah,
So Arsenal, they had that loss to Villa, which is out of nowhere. But
yeah,
City, man, it's title run in City. They're not gonna lose. They're not gonna lose.
yeah. But see, for Villa, they don't need to worry much, right? They have 3 games left. Like even if they don't do well, they at least have Spurs behind them, who's going to play both Arsenal and they're going to. Oh, sorry, they're not going to play Arsenal. They're going to play Liverpool and they're going to play Man City.
Yeah,
So
the advantage here is that even if Spurs win both game in hand, they'll still be 1 point
they're still
below
one
them.
point behind. Yes, correct.
So as long as Villa get let's say 6 points from the next 2 matches, 3 matches, I think they'll get it
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna get Champions League. We're gonna
because
see Champions League in Villa
point
Park.
not even six. Okay, yeah, I don't think
Mm.
Spurs will go above 70 because they have difficult
Yeah,
fixtures.
they also play us, by the way, which the fixture that's rescheduled. Now, Chelsea Spurs have always been a cracker fixture. I'm not gonna say we're gonna beat them, and at the same time, I believe like based on recent form, it could be an interesting draw. So they might lose
I'm
points.
calling it a draw. I am calling it will be a draw.
Yeah, it's gonna be a draw. Even I'm calling it as a
It's
draw.
going to be a high score. It's going to be a high scoring draw. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
None of you can defend for shit, so it's going to be a high scoring
Yeah,
draw.
no, we're gonna concede for sure, but at least we'll be able to score, I think. And just high line. So looking forward to it. But I think this defeat is gonna play a lot in the title race. I'm being very honest. Like this defeat could be the I mean, of course, like we know, like the
Yeah,
entire
yeah.
season we've had
If
all these draws and losses and everything, but
no,
this
no, this defeat will be a thing because it's coming in the
yeah,
running. It's coming towards the end, and let's assume Arsenal and City when every match from here, Arsenal will lose the title by 1 point.
1 point.
Deja vu. deja vu, but it's okay.
And guess what? that and one defeat is to the guy they kicked out of the club, the
Yeah,
goalkeeper that they said they didn't want. I mean, it would be
yes.
nice, it would be poetic, but yeah. But
Yeah,
okay,
I think after a long time the league is cheering on Manchester City. Okay, Arsenal obviously don't
yeah,
want Spurs don't want Arsenal to win. They want City to win. Villa could
yeah,
care less. Liverpool, yeah, the fan base is obviously very divided. A part of them is like, City has always been defeating us. They should lose, and I am like, see, it's very cliche to say, but at this point, no one cares City. But I mean, City fans do. I'm talking about the rivals. Okay, and not, it's
mm,
not because of that bad rhetoric of they don't have fans. It's because we've gotten used to it. Okay, they
yeah,
have won three in a row. It might as well be four in a row. I mean, obviously, now that we are out, I'm gonna say this. Obviously, I would have wanted us to win. Now they're out, four in a row, three in a row, same thing, man.
yeah,
Okay. Arsenal, obviously, okay. From a very unbiased point of view, Arsenal, what they've done in the last 2 years has been really great. They might have so-called watered last season, but uh, considering what they used to be before that, I think Arteta has done a very good job. I just don't want Arteta to have the same number of letters as Klopp. So
yeah,
that,
yeah.
so I'm like,
Okay,
and obviously Spurs won't want Arsenal to win. This is a whole talk about Twitter. Yeah, like Spurs might throw the City match. So, Arsenal might not have a chance. I'm like, bro, they're not going to come to that. City will defeat them anyway. They're not going
okay.
to get an opportunity to throw that match.
So if you look for me, right, at least on the Premier League table, we are third with respect to the number of titles. Now, of course, if that's the case, then I would want Arsenal to win, but then I hate Arsenal. But it's like fine. It's like we've seen City win, so I'm
Yeah,
like it's fine even if
I
City
am
wins
in.
again.
My honest opinion is I don't care. Okay, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
care.
yeah,
I
exactly.
would
Yeah,
have
I want to see
I would
both
have
teams lose,
preferred.
but yeah,
Yeah, I especially don't care because we were there in a title race not so long because I would
yeah.
have preferred us to win. And
But
now it's like City winning would be business as usual. Arsenal winning would be on merit a good thing. I agree,
yeah,
but I don't want that.
no, but if Arsenal don't win, there will be like, of course, like he's not going to get sacked. He's going to stay and everything. But people will seriously be talking about Arteta's reign because of the amount of money he spent, and to show for it, he's probably just had one lockdown FA Cup. So people will be like, yeah, I mean, like you're playing attractive football, you're dominating the league, but there's just no
To
end
be fair,
product. Yeah,
it's also about if he loses the title to City by 1 point, I will understand him defending
exactly.
it. Okay, they've done that twice. It's not easy to defeat Manchester City. Okay, last
Yeah,
season, yes, they bottled. This season, I won't say they bottled. Okay, this is not bottling. So
it's not
they're
bottled.
still
Yeah, exactly.
they might yet win it. By the way, obviously it's not a bottle. Okay, but even if they lose by 1 point, I won't call it a bottle. Losing by 1 point can never be called bottling.
No,
That
exactly.
just
Yeah,
means that the other team was slightly better than you, and it's Manchester
exactly.
City again.
This season, if I'm not wrong, all the top three teams have spent like almost equal number of days on top, like 70 odd days for like if I'm not wrong, for Arsenal, for City, like 50, 60 days, something. So
Yeah,
it wasn't like
Liverpool spent
last
the
time
most.
when yeah, Arsenal had like some 240 odd days and like City had like 14 days.
Yeah,
This
that,
wasn't
that
the
that is when you say bottling, right? That you
exactly,
lead
yeah.
the league for most of the season and then you fuck off. Okay, but here it's been a three-way race
Exactly,
since
yeah.
at least November. We've been talking about a three-way race since November 2023.
Yeah, and especially
So
during the turn of the new year, we saw all three teams going like at each other. At one point, we saw
yeah,
two
yeah,
teams at the same score
yeah.
heading into a game week.
In the same day the table changed twice. It reminded me of that Japan group in the World Cup. Okay,
Oh yeah,
so within 10 minutes the whole table was
whole
changing
table
again.
changed.
So
Yeah,
I think from Jan to March was a very proper three-way race. Then Liverpool just decided to fall off.
yeah, hmm. But it's okay. Like at the end of the day, I still think what Liverpool has done is pretty good, especially considering that last season, of course, Liverpool have always been
See,
strong under Klopp,
yeah,
but
retrospectively speaking, we were overachieving by being in a title race. I agree because
yeah,
we had replaced whole of our midfield this season. Okay, so I agree.
in
Liverpool
comparison to
were
last year,
just
it's
supposed
good.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, realistic. I mean, retrospectively, yeah. If you had asked me at the start of the season, am I happy with third and Carabao Cup and you back to UCL? Probably, yeah. Considering that we had a whole rebuild of the midfield, but seeing what I saw from August to December or January or February, it just is like, ah, we could have done better. We were doing
Exactly.
better than expected, but we would have continued to do better. It was not unsustainable. Okay, we just, I don't
Yeah.
know what happened to that.
No, it's always there. No, so the thing is, of course, this season the Indian Premier League final is happening in Chennai. People want CSK to play in that final. People want like don't need to play. So there's more incentive for the team for fans. Of course, the same thing for Klopp as well. He's leaving, so fans want to have a good send off for him. Your players want to send off Klopp with probably a silverware. So a lot of expectations were there. A lot of motive was there. It just I don't know, just fell off like in the closing stages. Maybe a little bit pressure here and there, but nonetheless,
It's
like
fine.
we will definitely talk. I believe like about like Liverpool maybe in another episode. But I definitely think what Klopp has done is phenomenal from the team that inherited like probably
Oh,
in
that, of
2015,
course, of
16 to
course.
yeah
I
to
mean,
what he's made
people,
Liverpool now.
there'll
Yeah,
be that all that Twitter rhetoric of about how he won only one Premier League and all. I'm like, first of all, let's leave about the fact that he was against that whole that Manchester City team of Pep Guardiola. Considering where he took off, even we won a Premier League after 30 years. I mean, the league title after 30 years. All that, it's fine. One title is not the point. The point is what he did for the club, from where what he got and what he's made them to be, the confidence and the belief he has given the club, and of course, the connection he made with the fan base, the local fan base, especially.
yeah,
Okay, he made an insane connection with the Liverpool fan base, locals. So he understood the club. He bled for the club, and obviously, I'm very sad to see him go, but I get his reason, and I think it's the right time. Okay,
yeah,
I would not want his legacy to be tarnished by him staying on. What happened to Wenger basically? Staying
yeah,
on too long and the fans turning onto him. I do not want LFC TV coming out, something like that. Okay, just to I think he realized, because if you see Klopp for the last half a season, he does look out of energy. He looks tired as fuck. Every match when the camera pans to him, in the beginning, yeah, but by the end of the match, and normally Klopp does not show emotions in between a match. But this season, that his face has been showing the tiredness, and I think it's being a manager at a club is obviously a very draining out job. Okay, so I think he's just actually generally drained out.
okay. So there's one thing that, like, of course, we have a couple of minutes left. There's one thing that I definitely want to talk about is people, of course, people blame Poch. We don't like the thing we see during the match and everything. But I'm just looking at last year and telling it's so much better compared to last year, at least in some aspects. We literally got 11 wins like in a year. Like what we're below Crystal Palace, by the way. We just got 11 wins in like a 38 game tournament. And the worst part is we didn't even hit the 40 goal mark. Of course, like we didn't concede a lot last season, but still, like we did not score goals at all. You look at this, how bad it is. You have scored basically 38 goals in a 38 goal tournament. The team that's finished below you and the team that's finished below them have scored like 50 odd goals. This is so fucking bad. Oh, sorry, my bad. I think this is the goal. But still, like 38 is like pretty bad. And I think we didn't even touch the 45 like point. I mean, it's not like 45 is a
Yeah,
big
to be
number,
fair,
but
now you
yes.
bring out this table. I'll also say, I mean, I know there's been talk of West Ham replacing David Moyes, but even West
Yeah,
Ham has done very better compared to last season. They were 14th.
exactly. West
They might
Ham.
get seventh. They might get seventh or eighth this season.
So
Uh,
West Ham, Bournemouth. So I mean, looking at these clubs, I think they've done pretty well this season. Especially Bournemouth have got their best ever points
yeah,
tally in Premier
the
League
ones who have
finish.
gone, ones who have gone down is Brighton.
Yeah. And I
Brighton
think
has gone
I'm
down.
happy we've got 60 odd goals, which is more like it. Of course, if you need to be in the top of, you need to get at least 70 plus goals. And you need to get around
But again,
65 plus points if you want to be in the
yeah,
top half. We are way off it. Next season, if at all we need to
7.
compete, it's this is our mark. At least you need to get 65 points to be in the Champions League. Minimum, like
No,
standards
no,
are high.
it'll be higher, Kaushik, because
Yeah, exactly. It'll
whoever
be higher. This season, of
67
course.
is right now. 67 is right now. So yeah.
Yeah. So see, the
But yeah,
maximum
the minimum you target is 65. Exactly.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
can
I
work.
mean, this season